Hi, I'm Francis, and welcome to Team 26. This video covers our patient-facing tool focusing on hypertension. This app was inspired when I went to see my doctor for a checkup and also to see his EHR. And during the visit, my doctor warned me that I also had high blood pressure. My numbers were this and that I was in a pre-hypertension stage. So what does this mean? My doctor says that there are terrible consequences from it, but at the same time, it's a treatable disease. The main suggestions from my doctor was to lose weight and to lower my blood pressure. And that's how this app came about. Now, this application I envision to be a integration hub to pull data from different sources, both the FHIR observations and also to capture the patient's own data, and to be able to visualize the progress and see how they're doing. And next is Neil to demonstrate the app.
Hi, my name is Neil Dunmore, and I'm going to talk about the login page, homepage, and some of the technology behind our application. This is the login page. Users would typically enter their username and password to access the application. However, to better demonstrate our project, we have simply hard-coded to a single user. We'll log in as Bob Smith. This is the home page, which is a dashboard or overview of information. The left column shows personal information about the patient. All the text was pulled from Bob's patient resource on the Georgia Tech FHIR server. The right column is a dashboard of information that's relevant to the patient to help them manage their health goals. Bob is currently trying to reduce his blood pressure and weight, and the homepage shows a risk chart and a graph of those observations. None of the data here is hard-coded. It's all pulled from Bob's observation resources on the Georgia Tech FHIR server. Just a note about the technology. The charts seen here were built with Chart.js, a JavaScript charting library. The pages were built with standard HTML, CSS, JavaScript. The backend is Java, specifically Java 8, so we could take advantage of Lambda expressions for more concise code. We also used an easy template language called Velocity to help speed up our development time. One more point to note about the application is that it was written to be responsive to the user's device. The application works equally well on desktop, tablets, and mobile-sized screens. We're using the Bootstrap framework to help us achieve that responsiveness. For example, here's the home page as seen on a tablet. And here's a home page as seen on a mobile screen. So this menu here, and I can scroll down. You can see the information is formatted for that screen. Okay. So that's the login and homepage, and up next is So.
Hello, my name is Sonang, and I'm going to stay on the homepage and talk more about our patient Bob's data that are being displayed. Before we started our development work, we created a patient resource for Bob on FHIR using HAPI, which holds information about his name, birthday, address, etc., as you can see under the profile picture. We also initialized 3 encounters for Bob on FHIR. On the first encounter, Bob's height, blood pressure, and weight were all recorded, but on the second and third encounters, only the blood pressure and weight were measured again. And of course, we created observation resources and linked them with the encounters on FHIR, all done through the use of FHIR API. First, to look at the blood pressure section, we see the systolic and diastolic measurements from the previous encounters displayed on the observations graph, and above that is a more detailed graphic of the patient's latest blood pressure and what range it falls under. And when it comes to blood pressure, we're talking about normal, pre-hypertension, and different stages of hypertension. You can see something similar going on with weight as well, measurements from the 3 encounters being displayed graphically. And with the risk chart, we calculate the BMI of the patient using the height recorded from encounter 1 and the patient's current weight to categorize the patient as either overweight, underweight, normal, etc. One more important thing to note is that the data that we're showing on the homepage is live from FHIR and not hard-coded, meaning every time the app starts up, we're always pulling in the live data from FHIR database using the REST API calls with HAPI. Next up is Francis, who is going to talk more about progress and backend.
Hi, this is Francis again, and here we are capturing the progress of the patient. So we let the patient see how well they're doing, and allow them to have a data input into it. So here, for example, we show their weight and we show their blood pressure, and everyone's able to actually capture their own weight. And we can all go to the gym and have our weight taken, or go to the CVS and get a blood pressure taken. And here, example, Bob overeats, and so it shows that he's the impact of that. Hey, suddenly it suddenly zooms up like that. Now for our backend, we use Mongo as a database. It's a NoSQL database. It stores things as JSON strings, and it makes sense, right? As we get the fire data coming in as JSON strings. And so up next, we have the education component of our app, in which which talk about what patients can do to improve their progress.
Hi, my name is Tanmay Kumar, and I will be talking about the comparison and health education tools built as part of our web app. The comparison tool allows the patient to compare their health metrics against national averages. The two metrics we have focused on in our app are weight and BMI, because of their close relationship to hypertension. As you can see from the graphs, the patient can observe their weight and BMI as compared to the national average. This tool, in essence, allows the patient to quantitatively understand their health and need for better management. The comparison tool leads us to the education portal. The education portal is a compilation of information and helpful external links and resources regarding the patient's specific conditions. This allows the patient to better understand their health and treat themselves. Our education page focuses on hypertension, and the idea is to provide a quick overview of the conditions, symptoms, treatments, lifestyle changes, and recommendations made by reputed worldwide sources. Lastly, the education page also provides links to external websites by Mayo Clinic, the AHA, American Heart Association, and WebMD, all fantastic sources for health information online. A second set of educational tools is also provided for diabetes. The diabetes being an often closely related chronic disease. The information panel for diabetes follows a very similar pattern to hypertension, and also includes some external resources such as the BMI calculator by AHA and some other family tree history, healthy eating, and external online resources by AHA and Mayo Clinic and WebMD as well. Thank you. And next up is Russ.
Thank you, Tanmaya. Hello, my name is Russell McDiffit, and for our final section of the presentation, we would like to briefly cover some future enhancement ideas for our application. These enhancements would enable the application to improve patient engagement. First off, we would create a more robust identity management system. This would allow for patients to self-manage their own accounts and passwords. Next, we would include better data validation on self-reported blood pressure and weight observations. Then we would add a provider portal. This would allow for healthcare providers to gain an aggregated view into their patient data and the patient's progress toward agreed upon goals. Lastly, and most importantly, we would expand the number of chronic illnesses within the application scope. The current application is primarily focused on the treatment for hypertension, which was an achievable goal for the present project. But in order to better impact the US healthcare system, we feel that the addition of additional chronic illnesses to be treated and specialized for within the application is probably the #1 enhancement that we could make to deliver enhanced care to the United States healthcare system. Thank you very much for watching our presentation.